Welcome to the Actually I Can Female Entrepreneur podcast. I am your host, Kayleigh Greenacre, a business strategist, coach, TEDx speaker, author, and your go-to woman for all things business strategy. I am obsessed with supporting female entrepreneurs to grow unstoppable six and multi-six-figure businesses that they love, giving them the freedom and life that they desire. During this podcast, I'll be sharing with you everything that you need to become a successful female entrepreneur, from the mindset shifts to sales and marketing strategies and how to become an iconic leader that people can't get enough of. It is my mission to help you stand out, attract your dream clients and customers, and sell out of your offers with ease whilst building the business and life of your dreams. Let's make this your reality, ladies. Hi, ladies, and welcome to another episode of Actually I Can, the Female Entrepreneur podcast. And I'm joined today by the fabulous Dr. Tania King-Mohammad, who is a high-ticket sales expert. And we are going to be diving into high-ticket sales and attracting premium clients. Tania, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so excited to be here and just to dive into all of the things.
All of the things. And I think this is a topic that we haven't yet discussed on the podcast. I know you're an absolute expert at attracting premium clients. And I feel like this is something that a lot of people struggle with in terms of messaging and content. So I'm really looking forward to this conversation. But before we dive into the topic, I would love for our listeners to find out a little bit more about you and your journey, if you don't mind sharing a little bit.
Yeah, of course. So I'll try to condense a very long story into just a short and sweet story in a nutshell. So my background is that I'm a doctor. I qualified as a consultant radiologist, but in 2021 I left the NHS and decided to follow my dream of being my own boss, and to become a serial entrepreneur. I knew that I was born to help people, and for a long time I thought that meant me being a doctor, helping patients improve their health, look after them, because I was brought up surrounded by uncles and aunts on my father's side who were all doctors. So I thought, this is obviously what I need to do. This is obviously what I'm going to do. And I didn't really think that I could do anything else. This just seemed like the logical thing for me. But all the way through medical school and my higher education, going into my junior doctor training and then into radiology specialty training, there was something inside of me that just said, this isn't right for you. You're living a life of someone else. This isn't a life that you were created for. I loved helping my patients, loved looking after my patients, but the job drove me to burnout. It drove me to be severely unhappy. I say borderline depressed in my marketing, but actually probably was actually depressed because of the sheer pressure and the stress of all of the work and everything that was on my shoulders as a doctor. And so it got to the point really where I remember coming home into my husband's arms, crying, just saying, I just can't live like this anymore, because the job and the career that I found myself in didn't align to any of my highest values of freedom, location independence, creating wealth. And it got to the point where I was just in such a bad state with my mental health that Rafa looked at me, my husband, my amazing husband. He said, we need to do something to get you out of this. And I said, I know, I just can't carry on like this. And we completely stumbled into property investment. It wasn't something that either of us knew anything about. Neither of us came from parents or families who were money or business savvy at all. Quite the opposite. Both my parents were, and my dad is an academic. And Rafa wasn't brought up by anyone who had businesses either. So we kind of stumbled across this workshop, which then upsold us into this 3-day program, which was £1,000. And at that time, I was like, oh my God, they want us to buy £1,000 course. This is so expensive. And that was a lot of money to me at the time. I mean, I think I was only taking home about £2,000 a month as a doctor. £1,000 was a lot of money relative to what I was taking home. So we got into that. Then we started to build out our property portfolio. We started in serviced accommodation, which is holiday lets, Airbnb. And that grew quickly. It replaced my medical salary. But I didn't want to leave medicine until I'd got to consultancy level, because I always like to start what I finish.
Yes.
I didn't want to give up on it. So that was kind of how we just kind of fell into the world of entrepreneurship, personal development. I didn't know anything about money or business or personal development. And it was like an awakening. It was like, wow, I didn't know any of this existed. I didn't know who Tony Robbins was. I didn't know any of this stuff. I didn't know about wealth creation. And that was the start of the journey, which then kind of organically led to me starting my online business. And I started as a property mentor, and that has now completely shifted into me just mentoring on and, building my business based on high ticket sales, attracting premium clients. But there was one other big catalyst that kind of completely changed the trajectory of my journey in my life. And that was losing my mum 12 years ago, 12 Christmases ago. Um, After a 13-month battle with cancer, I'm her only daughter. So I was very present throughout the whole journey. And the thing that is really important that I always need to talk about, and is a big part of my story, is that for years and months before her diagnosis, she told me that she was going to leave her job as a psychology teacher. She was going to sell her house, which felt like a ball and chain with the big mortgage she had. And she just wanted to go and travel the world. And that was her dream. But her dream was just completely wiped away from under her feet overnight. And she wasn't able to go and embody and embrace that freedom-based lifestyle that she dreamed about and that she really desired, because she was sick and tired of the day-to-day grind, the day-to-day 9 to 5 work. The kids in her classroom were treating her really badly, and it was too stressful for her. And so I now say that I live twice, for her and for me. And it's my mission to embrace the freedom and wealth-fueled lifestyle that I've always wanted, but also to spread that message across the world and say, if you're not happy with your life, you get to decide. Today is the day that you can change things. Let's go and do something about it.
Yeah.
That's my journey. That's my story in a nutshell.
What an incredible story. And, I'm sure so many of our listeners as well will be sending you your best wishes and things in terms of your mum, but you've got such a powerful message that you're now continuing to spread around the world and support so many females and female entrepreneurs to really go for it no matter what. So why don't we dive a little bit more into this topic and this conversation around high ticket offers, premium clients, because I feel that, as we mentioned previously, this is something that a lot of people potentially struggle with to attract the right people or that type of person. So how do we define then this high ticket offer, and how can our listeners, female entrepreneurs, position their services or products to attract that premium client or customer?
So it's really first and foremost about your mindset. If you know that you want to be attracting a premium paying client, but you don't feel worthy within you, then we have to do some work on that. So a lot of the work I do with my clients is really getting over their money blocks, their pricing blocks, their worthiness, sense of worthiness. And I really help showcase to them how incredible they are at what they do, and how they are the unique expert in that specific niche, in that specific field that people need. And by keeping yourself quiet and by not speaking to that higher caliber, higher level, more premium paying, faster moving, action taking client, you're not only doing yourself a massive disservice by undervaluing and underselling yourself, but you're withholding your impact from all of those people that you could be helping. So look at it from a wider perspective. It's not just about you, it's about your mission, and creating that message and that impact that you can help change people's lives, whether you help them with their health, their business, whether you help them with making money. There is a big misconception that you can only do high ticket sales if you help other people make money, which is a load of BS, right?
Yeah,
I have clients, and I'm sure you do too, who make incredible money and they don't help people directly make more money.
No.
I talk about one of my clients all the time, who is an incredible, incredible woman who had a dream one day that she needed to become a high performance and mindset coach for NBA basketball players.
Wow.
Incredible. Like so
incredible. Yeah.
And she's doing incredibly. I've seen her journey, and she's grown so much and she's expanded so much. into the person that she said a year or two ago she wanted to become, and it's literally just becoming her reality in front of her eyes. But she doesn't directly help her clients make money. Other clients and other people that I know who are higher ticket experts, who charge higher ticket rates, they don't necessarily help, not all of them help their clients make money either. So we need to let go of that misconception.
Yeah.
In terms of how you position yourself, it's really doing the mindset work and doing the inner work. That's the key to unlock everything. But then you need to start looking at the clients that you want to work with. So if you're currently talking and messaging to clients who are doing okay, but they need a little bit of hand holding, they may need a little bit of convincing or persuasion to get them over the line to hire you and work with you, that is not a high ticket client.
No.
Now, there is the term higher caliber client, and I just need to be clear that you still find and you still have higher caliber clients in containers which are low and mid ticket. So we need to kind of clear that misconception up as well. But if you really want to be attracting higher paying clients and premium paying clients, then you need to look at who you're speaking to. Because if you're speaking to someone who's in victim mode, who feels sorry for themselves and who needs motivation to get them over the line, are they really the kind of person that you want to work with? Are they going to be your ideal premium client? Probably not. And a lot of entrepreneurs I see really underselling and undervaluing themselves because they question their worthiness of being able to serve a higher caliber, higher paying client because they're too early on in their business, or because of the amount of money that they are making, or because of the kind of clients they're currently attracting. What we need to do is get over that. So I help my clients get over themselves with that and showcase to them that actually you need to be serving a higher level, higher paying client, because you get to co-create the most incredible, bigger results together. They're more emotionally and financially invested. They generally work faster. They take more action. And it's then great for them. They get an incredible ROI, but then ultimately it's also great for you too in your business because your clients are getting incredible results. So it's all about the messaging piece then, really looking at who you're speaking to, stop lowballing yourself and start talking to a higher caliber client who is ready to move and who also has access to capital, to finance, to invest in working with you in the first place.
Amazing. And you touched there a little bit in terms of, people do massively undervalue their work or themselves. And I think this is quite a common thing. So many of my own clients have come to me and, automatically I'm saying we need to raise these prices. They're not reflecting how incredible you are as an individual and the work that you do. Is there any advice that you can give just to our listeners here on the episode that will support them in shifting their mindset or reflecting on their true worth as an individual?
Yeah, so there is an exercise that I get my clients to do often, and this is when they're really questioning their expertise, their expert status, and questioning whether people would ever pay 5K, 10K, 20K, 30K or more or less to work with them. And it's a really simple exercise, and I encourage anyone who's kind of resonating with this conversation to just go and do this, get a pen and paper and write it down. And the exercise is write down 20 reasons why you are the go-to expert, 20 reasons why you are the one that people need, that you are the one that people need to hire and work with. And yes, it might feel a little bit cringy. It might feel a little bit awkward. It might feel a little bit difficult for the first few, but actually you'll start to get into the rhythm of it. And then you will have that objective data in front of you that will then help shift your mindset and reframe yourself into thinking, actually, I'm not X, Y, and Z. I am the expert, and these are the exact reasons why people should hire and pay me the premium rates that I want to earn. So that's a really simple exercise that I get my clients to do often.
Amazing. Sounds like a great exercise. And in terms of kind of raising their prices, how, if they don't have a mentor such as yourself or I, in terms of looking at their prices, and because it is a question that comes up quite a lot, are my prices right? Should I raise my prices? But if they're on their own and they haven't got mentorship at the moment or someone to kind of ask, how can they recognize when it's time to raise their prices? Like, what can they do to support them in terms of making sure that their price is where it should be, or if they should actually raise them?
Yeah. So pricing, as you know, there's never a black and white answer. It's never black and white, like this is what your price point should be. First of all, it has to feel energetically good for the person, because if they are underselling and underpricing and delivering so much value and giving a lot of proximity within that particular offer, they will probably end up resenting that container or resenting the clients that come into that container. Whereas if we price too high, which is too much of a stretch for that person, they may not energetically be able to back that price point, and therefore when they show up, it will be palpable to their audience, and therefore they won't get the conversion. So it has to be the right fit and what does feel good for the person. I always encourage my clients to stretch a little bit, because if you're not stretching yourself, then you're still kind of in your comfort zone, which is, as we know, that's not where the bigger results happen. But then have a look at what value you can add into your offer to make it a standout offer. And I talk about creating power offers. I take my clients through my 10-step power offer blueprint, which are the key criteria that you need to include in an irresistible offer that flies off the shelves. And so really look at, what are your competitors in your field doing? What are they delivering? How long is the container? What kind of proximity do they provide? Do they provide access to their team, for example? And have a look at what they're providing. Think about providing some of that or all of that, but go the next step, like go 10 steps beyond and add more value to help your clients get bigger, better results. Because once you start adding more value and once people see you as the expert who gets results, your price point won't be in question, and it will be easier for you to back it as well. The other last piece of advice I would give is that selling your offers at whatever price point will become easy for you. It will become the easiest thing once you fully back yourself and your offers 100%. So yeah, those are my top tips on pricing and value and offer creation.
And definitely backing yourself and really believing in your offer is so important. It kind of links to that confidence piece, doesn't it? I mean, what's your take on this in terms of, how can we as entrepreneurs, well, any entrepreneurs, confidently sell that high ticket offer to those premium clients? Is there any advice that you have around that in terms of confidence?
Yeah, again, it's all an inner game. So it really comes back to you reminding yourself that you are a big deal, that you are the one, that you are the only one that teaches or supports or co-creates with your clients to get results in your unique way. And if you ultimately, if it's something that you really want, you will find a way. Stop getting in your own way, start backing yourself. Stop sympathizing with yourself in your current scenario, your current situation, and start championing yourself. When I was kind of in my good girl era, I call it, when I was a doctor and doing all of the good girl things, in a good job and earning a good salary, I sympathized with myself. I felt sorry for myself, and I thought, you know what, this isn't the life that I want. As soon as I made the decision to break that pattern and to break that lifestyle and create this new lifestyle that I have now, I started championing myself and I started leading from the front. I started saying, do you know what? This is what I want, and I'm going to do what it takes within reason to go and get it. And so it all starts with you in the inner game, because you cannot wait for permission or external validation from anyone else before you say, do you know what? I am the expert for X clients, or I am the go-to expert if you want this result. So it all comes down to you doing the inner work to then say, do you know what? I'm going to go first. I'm going to lead with this.
Love that advice. Having that inner belief, that self-belief, the confidence, and, some of the advice that you've given today already is just absolutely incredible in terms of some of the exercises and, ultimately how to approach this in terms of raising your prices and attracting those premium clients. So something else that does come up, and I think a lot of people struggle with this as well, is objections. And when we're talking high ticket sales, something that a lot of people will face is pricing objections.
Yeah.
Have you got any advice in terms of how our listeners can handle those pricing objections? Because we know that, you know, every single one of us will receive those messages that say, well, I'm not sure I can afford that, or that's just too much for me right now. What advice have you got around that?
100%. So, I mean, I love this. I always see objections as like a challenge to overcome. And to create a win-win both for the client and then for me or for my clients. So the first thing to note is you are not abnormal if you get objections. Everyone under the sun in this industry will receive objections, just as you've said. And the other thing to say, just following on from that, is not everyone who inquires about every offer in your product suite is always going to convert. So give yourself a break and give yourself some grace. The second piece, when it comes to objections, one of the key closing tactics that I use when it comes to sales is understand where the client is coming from and acknowledge that their objection, acknowledge what they're saying. So if they say to you, oh, I'm not sure if I can afford this, then respond with, listen, I totally understand that affordability might be a concern for you. But then it's your opportunity to reframe that objection and say, but can we just talk about the result that you said you want? You want to come into this offer. Let's say you want to come into my mastermind, for example. You've said that you want to attract higher paying clients. Well, that's exactly what I can help you do inside this container. Now, I know that you've said affordability may be a concern for you, but would you like to know about some of my clients who were in a similar situation? I've had the same conversation with them. Would you like to know how they went from a similar position to where you are right now, but now they're creating XYZ result? And the response is always going to be, yes, tell me more. And then we take the conversation further and showcase the possibilities so they can then tap into the possibility of what they can create as part of that container or working with you. And then you take the conversation from there. But usually, you know, that's probably one of the commonest objections that comes up. And I use that simple framework for myself, but also with my clients as well. And it usually works wonders.
Amazing feedback and or say feedback, but some advice there in terms of how to handle pricing objections. Now, if we go back to this premium buyer, because ultimately, you know, when we're looking to attract the premium buyers, they're the ones that are ready to take action, and hopefully they're not going to be bringing the pricing objections. So if we go back to that concept of attracting them, what qualities do premium buyers actually look for? Is there anything specific that they're looking for and that our listeners potentially can consider and think about when they're creating their offers or creating their content and their messaging?
Yeah, so there's two key things that I teach all the time. They are looking for a confident expert. Like there is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you're not confident, it's going to be palpable. They won't invest and they'll go to the next expert. So they want a confident expert. They usually look for a level of personalization as well. So when you work high level with someone and you want to co-create bigger ROIs and bigger results, usually there is a level of personalization which is required for you to get your eyes in their business or in their health or in their lifestyle or whatever it is that you do in your niche. So have a look at how you can personalize your offers more and offer that next level. The next thing that I always talk about is the 4 expert values, which are the 4 key things that high ticket clients or premium paying clients look for in order to invest in their chosen high ticket expert. And the first is always going to come down to results. So they want bigger results. They want a bigger ROI. They want to know that through working with you, that is going to be more likely based on all the social proof and the testimonials that you share. They want faster results. So you and I will both invest in mentors or coaches or containers for one of the reasons that we know we will get faster results with them by our side. Okay. So faster results, convenience. So, you know, people will look for, have you got the resources and the tools and the templates and the things to help make this easier for me? So convenience is another thing. And then the final thing is they want to reduce their level of risk through working with experts who are high ticket experts. So, you can demonstrate this by saying, okay, you want to achieve X result in X time frame. Well, my clients are doing exactly this. These are the testimonials. This is the social proof, which will instantly trigger your potential clients into thinking, okay, if they've done it too, then it's likely that I can too. And that reduces my level of risk. That reduces the level of amount of money that I need to invest or spend, or the amount of time that it takes for me to achieve the result that I want to achieve. So those are the kind of key things that high ticket premium paying clients are really looking for. A confident expert and those key 4 values that I've just given as well.
Amazing. And with everyone that's potentially listening to this podcast episode, everyone's got a different business model. We've got different offers. Some people will, have a business model that's maybe just focused around a membership and it's kind of a low ticket offer. Other people do just one-to-one. We've got people such as ourselves who've got a whole entire combination of offers. I know that, every female entrepreneur has a different business model with different product suites, etc. But if we focus on the premium buyers for high ticket sales, how can that support you in then scaling your business?
I love this question. So it's an absolute no-brainer. If you don't have high ticket offers in your product suite at the moment, you are leaving hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of untapped sales on the table. So we need to be adding them in. The fastest way to scale your business is to add in a high ticket offer, but then to create some sort of responsive payment plan. So we should all be focused on, yes, cash injections are great, but ultimately we don't want to be starting from zero in terms of revenue at the start of every month. If you want to hit big money months, okay, it's just not going to happen unless you're doing a one-off launch, which you can't be doing every month because that's exhausting. So the fastest way to scale your business is to add in a high ticket offer or experience or product or container and have a responsive payment plan to build up your monthly recurring revenue. That in itself is a huge foundation for you to then scale your business on. But, with your pricing going up, justified by the extra value that you deliver in your containers, that in and of itself is going to help you scale your income, scale your business, because ultimately people are paying you more. Your client lifetime value is going to be more. So it's an absolute no-brainer. It is the key. I say it is the key for you to scale your business, because if you're, scrapping around with like containers that are just £100 or £50 offers or things, you're going to need volume to hit high money months. Whereas we don't need to focus on volume if you're focusing on attracting a higher paying, more premium paying client.
It's brilliant advice, and I would 100% agree with you. I think when we have, just as an example, really, if we're looking at a membership, and if any of our listeners have memberships, they're incredible, but you need so many more people to bring in that volume in order to get to whatever it is that you're aiming for, whether it's 5K, 10K, 20K sales months coming in. Whereas if you have that high ticket offer and offer payment plans, you can reach those sales months definitely a lot quicker, but obviously with less of a volume as well. But no, I really appreciate your advice on that for our listeners. And it's been an absolute pleasure talking about premium clients and bringing in those high ticket sales. Is there any last advice or a couple of tips or anything that you'd give our listeners today?
So first of all, my book is coming out very soon, so I'm going to do a shameless little plug for that. So if you are in the mindset where you want to be attracting more premium paying, higher paying clients, but you've got some mindset work to do, definitely get the book, because I do a lot of that and I unpick a lot of that for you and with you in the book as well. The book is a step-by-step blueprint for you to start attracting consistent premium paying clients. So if you know that this is for you, and if you know that you want to be attracting a higher paying client, I will literally give you a step-by-step blueprint. So if you go through the book and if you implement it, I'm sure that you will create incredible results in terms of scaling your income, scaling your revenue, scaling your impact as well. My last piece of advice, really, after getting the book, which launches on the 23rd, is just get out of your own way. just go and do it. Get very clear on what it is that you want to achieve, and then go and do it and commit to it, and commit to mastery, commit to being the best there is out there in your niche, in your industry. And the results will show for everything that you do. So that's the last piece of advice.
Amazing. Thank you so much for coming on the episode today with the podcast. Before we finish, and absolutely, I would highly recommend to everyone to go and get Tania's book. Oh my goodness, so excited to read it myself. Before we finish the episode, can you just let me know what your one word of the year is and why?
Oh, so I'm sure I'm going to have more, but my current one is really focus. That's the one that I'm holding on to at the moment, because I've got a very entrepreneurial brain. I'm self-diagnosed with ADHD, I'm pretty sure. So, I have all of the ideas and all of the things that come up in here. And actually, what I really need to nail this year is focus on my specific goals and the current things that I've set for myself for this year. So yeah, focus.
Amazing. I love it. I don't think we've had focus as a word of the year, actually, over all of the episodes we've had. So that's incredible. Absolutely. But it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for being our guest today. Where can our listeners find you and connect with you?
So come and find me on Instagram at Freedom with Tania with an I. You can check out my website, taniakingmohammad.com. Yeah, that's it.
Amazing. Go and give Tania a follow. She's absolutely incredible at what she does. It's been an absolute pleasure, my lovely. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
And thanks to everyone who has joined us for today's episode. Please don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. And I'll see you all again next time.
Thank you for tuning in to the Actually I Can Female Entrepreneur podcast with me, your host, Kayleigh Greenacre. If you are ready to build, grow, and scale your dream six-figure or multi-six-figure business, then head to our website now for more information or connect with me on socials to see how you can create your dream business and dream life.